Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to kind of a preview for NHL 20 because I am doing another full roster build when NHL 20 comes out. It'll probably take me a couple months to make, but I'm going to show you guys my spreadsheet on what I've been doing to kind of get myself prepared for it. Some of you have probably seen it on Twitter or on Facebook, but if you don't follow me on either, then you wouldn't have seen it. So anyways, here's just a little info page I have that you could find some links that are actually pretty useful for making your own roster. So as you can see, all the contract information comes from this one website called Hockey Zone Plus, which I will actually open in a new tab for you guys, just so you guys can see what they have. They're actually a pretty good website for the most part. So, like, you have to be careful on how you spell people's names and stuff like that in the search thing, because for some reasons they have some spelling errors, like Samuelson spelled with one S instead of two, and yeah, certain things like that. So let's just look up, say, Mary Lemieux, for example, and then when you find Mary Lemieux, it takes a while to load because it's a pretty huge database. Then you got, like, his salary that he made over the time he was in his career. These are pretty much accurate numbers. I'm not 100% sure if they're 100% accurate, but as you can see, it says he made $2 million in 89-90, and his most he made was in 96-97, which was $11 million. It also translates it into today's dollars and ranks him in the NHL based on that time period. And then I don't know what this is, but yeah, it's a very useful tool for me. So yeah, go check that out if you are serious about making your own roster builds as well. There's also this team bios things. I got all that from Hockey Reference. I don't get it from Hockey DB, even though Hockey DB is very useful. Hockey Reference I find is better because like you could get a lot more information on there. So yeah, that one is pretty self-explanatory. I also get the team captains and the alternate captains based off of images I find on Getty Images, because a lot of the time you can't find out who the alternate captain was for each team unless you could find like a team photo, so it's kind of difficult to do so. And then also we got our logos from Chris Creamer Sports Logos. Those are just where we put the logos in the spreadsheet and where we're basing it off of. And then uniforms, they're all from NHLuniforms.com, which once again, I'll open this in a new tab so you guys can see what this website is. In case you haven't done it, I'll just put it in NHL Uniforms. So basically you get all the uniforms from the entire NHL history, and in that way I could find out how to make them. So you got all these teams, say from 93-94, their uniforms. So that's how I base it off of. And then we also got some credits that I give out to another spreadsheet, which was created by these guys, Sappenford and Jockey, who are in an HF Boards forum. And it's kind of interesting because I saw that a lot of my videos were getting viewed from this HF Boards mandatory.com. I'm like, I've never even been on there before, so I checked it out, and it turns out these guys have this awesome thread called The Art of Custom Players, where they've been creating a lot of legend-like players over the past few months, I think. As you can see, they got like faces for like Paul Kariya, Mike Modano, Timo Solani, all these type of things. So I started making my own faces that kind of accurately represent them, and I've been using some of their faces for my own build. So like example, like I've been practicing making like players like Charlie Huddy here, Tim Waters, all that type of stuff. But yeah, these guys are really good, and they're definitely going to help out in that sense with making accurate faces for my build. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, so that is cool. And then yeah, basically after that, I also have a note that you guys, when I made my 1999 build, I think I hit the maximum amount of skaters, which is somewhere around 600, and then goalies you could only make up to around 100 of them at the most, I think, maybe 50 to 100. So if you guys are building something and you actually build a roster build as big as mine, I don't think you would. There is all that info too. Then also we got a breakdown of the ratings. So franchise forwards are like 92 plus usually. Same with franchise defensemen and goaltenders. Elite forwards are usually 88 to 91. And then also top 2 demon that seemed to be like 87 to 91. Well, that's actually kind of off because I think in my NHL 99 build, there's like 85s that are listed as top 2 defensemen. And then you got elite goaltender, all that type of stuff. There's also fourth liners that are 76 to 80 overall in this build, that type of thing. And then also here's a thing that I made personally. I'll put it to 75% so you guys can see the entire thing. So basically what it is it shows you how to make each team's jerseys, like the custom ones that I built. It has like their primary logo that you would use, the shoulder logo, the helmet decal, the jersey styles, so which one is for which, and then there's also home and away. You also got the font you use, the pants style, the sock style, and then you got colors that you could kind of guess which accurate ones they were. So yeah, those are all the colors and all that type of thing. It's kind of based off of the player stuff. So now on to the player info, and this is really where I get really in depth with it. So as you can see here, we're gonna only look at the Anaheim Ducks, the Mighty Ducks, because there's too much teams to go through. But as you can see, we got the main roster information. So we got team info of how they finished the season. So their record was 33, 46, and 5. We also got their goals for, goals against, their power play, and penalty kill percentage, just so I could kind of try and match to that standard. We also got their arena, which is the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. And then we got their captains, Troy Loney, Todd Ewan, and Stu Grimson. Then into the actual player bio stuff, we got the jersey number for each player on the team, we got position, we got player name. Now you wouldn't be able to make all 23 skaters for each team because or else you'd go over the limit. So like I recommend if you guys do build rosters to only do like 18 players per team, like the minimum, and then add players like for each team if you want to as well for depth. Then you also got the player names, you got their position, you got their birth date, you got their age as well. There could have been more players I could have added to each of these teams as well, but some of them I just could not add. So you got their place of birth, you got their height and weight, you got their shooting or catching, depending if they're a goaltender or not. You also got their player type, their overall, which is something that was very difficult for me to come up with overalls for players. Like I'm still fine tuning this time of a thing. So like when I actually build this in NHL 20, I'm gonna just kind of like build it all, and then I'm gonna try and reassess my like overalls and all that type of stuff to make it as accurate as the simulation as possible. We also got the potential for each player, the status if they're dressed or scratched. We also have the contract information, which we got from that Hockey Zone website. And then we also got how the player did in that season, just so I could kind of compare the simulation and the real player and see if they're underperforming or if they're overperforming. Next, we get into something that's pretty interesting, and this is the projected lineup. So based on player stats and all that type of stuff, I came up with my line projections for each team on how they would finish the season, or not how they would finish the season, how they would actually be put together. So example, like with the Ducks, you have Volk, Corkum, and Yake, and then you'd have like Sacco, Semenov, Sweeney, Loney, Van Allen, and Duras, Ewan, Carnback, Grimson, and in depth I gave it to LeBeau and King because those guys played the least amount of games. Then you got the defense pairings and the goaltending combination, and then you also got the power play number 2, penalty kill number 1, and penalty kill number 2. Then you get into this jersey picture, which is from NHL Uniforms, so you can kind of base off the jersey as best as you can. I didn't mean to click that. And then as you can see here with my pictures, I also put pictures of my actual creations in NHL 19, but they will be also eligible to be doing in NHL 20. So you got like kind of the most accurate jerseys as possible. So yeah, basically that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to put screenshots like that so you guys could easily be able to distinguish if you are making the right jerseys or not, if you wanted to build a team of this build for your own doing. Then you get into the player appearances and equipment. This is also pretty technical information. Some of this stuff, I think all this actually was my own doing, but there is some of it that is all from a spreadsheet from those guys at the HF Boards forum. So I highly recommend going to check out that thread. But as you can see, we got like the head for each player. We got the eye color, the eyebrow style, eyebrow color, the hairstyle, hair color, all that type of information, as well as if they have jersey tucks, certain helmets and sticks and all that type of thing, just so it's easier for me to build this all like fast as I can. Basically speed up my workflow. And then after all those player information stuff, we got players' individual stats, which I'm still currently completing. I'm trying to get players to be playing as accurate as possible in certain positions. So as you can see, somebody like Bob Corkum, who won a lot of his faceoffs in his career, is at 85, while Sean Van Allen is a bit lower at 83 because he wasn't as good, but he was still a centerman. And then same with Anatoly Semenov. And then you have guys like, say, example, Stu Grimson. Let's go all the way over to Stu's side. As you can see, I gave him 90 fighting skill because he was a really good enforcer. So I'm trying to make this simulation as accurate as possible. So I'm kind of excited to get this build underway in NHL 20, but obviously that's still quite a far ways away. It's like 4 months plus, or actually maybe just around 4 months. So yeah, that's just basically a little preview of what my 93-94 rosters are going to be like when I get it into NHL 19 or NHL 20. So if you guys have any feedback for other things I could add to this kind of spreadsheet, let me know. I'm going to put a lot of these links and stuff down below in the comments. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.